Fatal clips before horror.
Two women entered the colorful labyrinth of a massive inflatable art installation called Dream Space 5. It was supposed to be a peaceful summer afternoon, but for Elizabeth Collings and Claire Firmage, it quickly turned into a nightmare. In an instant, a sudden gust of wind lifted the entire installation, with around 30 people still inside, and launched it 15 meters off the ground. Mid-air, Dream Space 5 slammed into a lamppost and then roughly plummeted to the ground. Elizabeth and Claire were violently thrown out. By the time emergency services arrived, it was too late. Unfortunately, both women didn't survive, and 13 others were seriously injured, all because the ropes anchoring the installation weren't properly secured. And sadly, this wasn't the only time a simple oversight or careless mistake led to a tragic outcome. Viewer discretion is advised. 19-year-old Elizabeth walked upstairs to check if her mother was home, but the moment she stepped into 39-year-old Helen Davies' bedroom, she froze. Her mother was pinned between the bed frame and the metal lift that holds the mattress. The mechanism had jammed, and when Elizabeth tried to free her, she couldn't lift the top section right away. Elizabeth later said the bed wouldn't move at first, and it felt like it could slam shut again at any second. By the time she finally managed to free her mother, Helen's skin had already turned blue. Paramedics arrived shortly after, but unfortunately, there was nothing they could do. Helen was gone. The investigation later revealed that one of the two hydraulic pistons responsible for lifting the frame had malfunctioned. So when Helen leaned in to grab something from under the bed, the upper part suddenly slammed shut. Ultimately, Helen passed away from suffocation. And yet, to this day, no safety improvements have been made to the bed's design. So here is a chilling reminder. Sometimes danger waits where you'd least expect it, like right next to a dumpster. In late September 2016, CCTV cameras in the town of Bury St. Edmunds captured footage of a man dressed in white. Just hours later, 23-year-old Corey McKeague would disappear without a trace. That night, the young Royal Air Force serviceman had simply gone out to spend some time with friends. After a few drinks, Corey ended up at Flex nightclub around 1:20 a.m. But after a few more, a bouncer asked him to leave, saying he was too intoxicated to still be there. Corey didn't argue. So he left, grabbed some pizza, and then lay down for a few hours outside of an electronics store to sleep it off. At around 3:30 a.m., Corey was seen on CCTV for the last time. Security footage showed him walking toward a gated area with a row of industrial bins. From that moment on, he vanished. When Corey failed to show up for duty, police launched a massive search. Investigators eventually traced Corey's phone signal, which cut off nearly 20 kilometers from where he was last seen on cameras. But an even more chilling clue came from the weight of the garbage collected that morning. Typically, a single bin weighed no more than 30 kilograms. But on September 24th, one came in at a shocking 116 kilograms. Police believe Corey may have fallen asleep inside one of the bins and ended up in the garbage truck equipped with a waste compactor. What likely happened next is too hard to imagine. Despite searching more than 6,500 tons of waste across two local landfills, investigators were never able to recover his body. But tragic accidents like this don't always strike in quiet alleyways. Sometimes they happen in the most crowded places possible, like your local grocery store. On August 11th, 2018, customers at the Winco Foods supermarket in Lancaster, California noticed a strange, foul odor coming from one of the columns near the store's entrance. A plumber was called in, expecting to find a dead bird or just a small animal trapped inside. Instead, he discovered something far more disturbing: the body of 35-year-old Raimundo Rivera, stuck inside the column. Police determined that Rivera had been trapped inside for nearly 6 days, suffering from dehydration and extreme heat, with temperatures reaching up to 40 degrees Celsius. But the slow, agonizing death wasn't even the most shocking part. The thing is, Rivera ended up inside the column while trying to hide from the police. On August 5th, he was pulled over on suspicion of vehicle theft, and that stop quickly turned into a high-speed chase. According to police reports, he ran into a supermarket and made his way to the upper office levels. Then, he vanished. Most likely, he fell into the column from one of the upper floors. But how could the police not have noticed or even heard that it happened? 6 years later, the truth finally began to surface. The ex-girlfriend of one of the officers, whose name remains undisclosed, came forward with a chilling confession. She claimed that her ex, one of the officers involved in the chase, had known Rivera was stuck inside that column and deliberately left him there. Her testimony gave the victim's family the courage to sue the county. As far as I know, the court battle is still underway, and with it, a hope for a fair outcome. But justice isn't something you should ever take into your own hands, unless you're ready to cross a line that no one should. Just like 46-year-old Juan Medina from Rosario, Argentina. In 2024, Medina was laid off from Air Liquide, Argentina, where he had worked for about a year. The company specialized in selling industrial gases like liquid oxygen and hydrogen. But management didn't expect that Medina wasn't just an ordinary employee. He held a pilot's license with over 500 hours of flight time, boasted access to a rented Cessna 150 through his local flying club, and had a strong sense of justice. So, on August 9th, Medina shared a photo of a mushroom cloud on WhatsApp. Then, fueled by a plan for revenge, he climbed into a Cessna and soared into the sky. At 12 p.m., surveillance cameras near Air Liquide, Argentina, captured a terrifying moment. The plane was diving at full speed straight toward a warehouse, storing flammable gas canisters. However, by sheer luck, the aircraft clipped a pillar and crashed just short of its target. Medina died instantly, but miraculously, no one else was hurt. He had spent months planning his revenge over what he believed was injustice. But sometimes, all it takes is one reckless decision to spark a tragedy. On the last day of October 2024, 32-year-old construction worker Shabari was celebrating Diwali, India's traditional festival of lights. Surrounded by new faces and fueled by alcohol, he was offered a twisted challenge: sit on a box of firecrackers until the last one goes off, and win an auto rickshaw. Shabari didn't hesitate and took the offer. Security footage captured a group of young men lighting a firecracker beneath Shabari and running off. What happened next is too disturbing to show, so